Hello everyone, welcome to another Bible journaling video. Today I'm working in Psalms and I'm not preparing my page this time because I'm using acrylics and they work a little bit like a medium on its own. So you don't have to necessarily prepare your page. I do add a protective sheet behind my page. This is also because I don't want anything, especially when I'm using water, I don't want it to affect the pages underneath. So that's why I add the protective sheet anyway. I'm using a little card and I will add the paint to the side of it and then I'll add it to my page. This way I can add a really thin layer so it will dry quicker and it's just easier to work with. And I'm using three colors here, a darker purple, a blue and a pink one. And I'm just adding a couple of layers on top of each other to build my background. I added the base with the card, but I don't really like the hard edges it gives. So after using this card I will use a paper towel to blend out the edges a little bit and to add a little bit more color. I'm working the same way with the paper towel as I did with the card, so I'm just adding a little bit of paint to the paper towel and then I'm adding it to the page. And when I get closer to the text I want the color to be a little bit lighter so I can still read my text underneath it. So I will add a little bit of water to my paper towel and then I can blend it out as long as it's still wet. If it's dry then it won't work anymore, so you have to be a little bit quick with this. And this way I can just blend the colors out a little bit. I'm using a regular brush to get into the spine of the Bible. This is just a little bit more precise work, so it's easier to do with a brush than with a paper towel. I'm using a heat tool to speed up the drying process so I can work a little bit faster on the page. And when everything is dry I want to add a white layer so I can add my text and journaling to it. I'm using a paper towel again to add my colors. When the paint has dried, I'm just adding my stamps here on the page to see where I want them. I'm using Ranger archival ink to stamp, and it's a permanent waterproof ink, so that's always nice to have in your Bible. And this time I'm not using any water on top of it, but I just like to have something that is permanent. So even if I'm going to add medium or anything on top of this page, it wouldn't matter. I'm aligning the stamps before I put them on the acrylic block, so I can stamp them all at the same time. I'll just add them to the block and ink them up and stamp them on my page. I'm using a Faber-Castell Pitt pen to add a couple of words to my text. I'm using ribbons to add to my page, and these are from Amy Tangerine. And I'm just positioning them and see if I like them before I will rib them on my page. I will remove the backing of the ribbons, and then I'll use a popsicle stick to rub them onto my page. These ribbons are a little bit translucent too, so you can still see the paint beneath it. That's why it was important to have the little bit of white into the background, so I can still see these ribbons. To finish my page, I'm adding another stamp to point out the text I'm talking about. And I'm using the Ranger Archival ink again. I will give you a little bit of a closer look and a look at the back side of my page. And of course, I want to thank you all for watching. If you want to know more, you can find more about me on my blog. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this.